everybody, and welcome to another episode of Nirvana Photography Studio's Preferred Vendor Showcase. You can find us, as well as links to all of our social media, at nirvanafotostudio.com. Today we're at Hype Hair Studio in Kitsilano, and with me here is Shalon. Shalon, what's your role at Hype?
I am one of the stylists here, and I also head up the wedding department.
Mm-hmm. You have a wedding department?
Well, that's what I call it.
Okay. So the reason we're here is that, like, over the last while, like, Hype's name came up over and over again. Like, we're shooting a marketing campaign, and the girls are all like we asked the girls, do you need a stylist? And they were like, oh, no, we're getting our hair done at Hype. We're having like a number of brides, and they were all like, oh yeah, no, we're getting our hair done at Hype, and it's such a great experience. So, like, the name Hype came up over and over and over again. So you must be doing something right. So tell me about Hype. What's the Hype all about? Why are you so special?
I feel that it's how you feel when you come to Hype. It's a very fun environment. Everyone that works here loves their craft. They love what they do. They're always very excited to see each one of their clients. We find connecting with the client is really important. We always strive to make sure that each client that comes in is fit with the appropriate stylist. So when someone calls in, for example, their first time, we like to ask a lot of questions just to make sure there's an appropriate fit. We have 12 stylists, so there's someone for everyone. Yeah, and it's just, I think, like most customer service industries, is focused on the client. So we're always striving what we can do for the clients. What more can we give them? How can we get better? We're constantly evolving and changing. Mm-hmm. So for our clients. Mm-hmm. So I think that's what sets us apart.
And so you have this concept of a style journey,
yes,
right? So tell me a little bit about that, because when I first heard that, I was like, okay, this is actually really cool, you know, because like both of us were in the industry of making people look and feel beautiful,
yes,
right? So, and for a bride, this is very touchy, right? Because like most brides, they already have a hairstylist, and so they kind of feel like they were cheating on the hairstylist if they go with someone else. But then it's not like it's the most important day of your life. So maybe you want to do something special, and maybe the person you're with, you feel like it's not really the right fit for that. So you do want to go with a specialist for like a special occasion.
Yes.
So like how do you address that? So there's a lot of trust issues sometimes, plus like this feeling that you're cheating on your current stylist. So like talk a little bit about that.
So with the style journey to us it's very important, because from the moment you meet someone till the day of your wedding, there's a lot that happens, right? It's not just the hair that your client is thinking about. They have so much on the go. So it's important for the stylist to make sure that they have everything taken care of on their end for the bride. So first off, we do a 15-minute complimentary consultation. This is just kind of a meet and greet. This is where you kind of connect with the client. You encourage them to bring any photos if they have any, if they already know what their dress looks like, colors for the wedding, if they're going to have any hair pieces, just so you can kind of start gauging their style, right? If it's going to be more of a bohemian wedding or a beachy wedding or more of a classic wedding. So we can give our professional advice. We can also let them know what's trending. But it's also very important to make sure that the client has a look that is uniquely them and timeless, because it's great to be trendy, but you don't want to look back on your pictures in 10 years and be like, wow, that was really 2015, right?
Totally. Yeah.
So it's something that complements the bride. And this is why the style journey is so important, because it gives you time to build all of that.
So 6 months before the wedding, that seems reasonable.
Yeah.
So like, what if a bride says, like, I mean, sometimes we have people call up and say like, oh my God, I'm getting married like in 2 weeks from now, like, can you shoot our wedding?
Yes.
Like, how does that work with hair? Like, what do you do in a scenario like that?
That does happen from time to time, but what's really important when that happens is for the stylist to make sure that the bride feels very comfortable, very reassured that they have everything taken care of. You don't need to stress, you don't have to worry. I can take care of you. God forbid the day of you change your mind again on what you want, not a problem. So it's really important to have them come in, do a consultation, take down all the information, make sure you have all your bases covered, And then even a week before, send them an email, say, I'm thinking of you, is there anything you want to change? You know, just leave the lines of communication open. Say, I'm here for you 24/7. You have any question, just let me know. I just want this, like, this is your special day, so I don't want you to worry about this end of it. It's not.
And I think that is one of the things that really sets you apart, right? Because oftentimes you go, like, I mean, we deal with a lot of other vendors, you know, and like vendors sometimes tend to forget that they were actually partaking in the most important day of someone's life. And so like it's really just business, and you come there, you, in your case, like, let's say, do the hair and that's it. But like to actually build that trust and allow somebody, like, I mean, how you look, your hair and your makeup is incredibly important for a bride, right? Or for most brides at least. So to basically go in and allow them to say, you know what, even if it's like 8 o'clock at night, call me, that's great. I really like that about you guys. Right?
Yeah.
So, okay, so let's get back to the style journey, of the concept of a style journey. So what I really like about this is, I'll give you an example. Like, so we had, a couple of months ago, we had a bride come in. Like, we oftentimes combine like the hair trials and the makeup trials with like a dress shoot, you know? So the bride comes in the studio, she already has her wedding hair and her makeup now perfectly done. So she has her dress already, so she puts on her dress and we do some styled sort of like fashion-y shoot with the bride, and so she has a nice picture to display on her wedding that shows her basically how she looks on the day, but it's like high fashion, stylized, kind of like shoot. So now that particular bride came in and she's in tears. She's like, oh my God, like I had my hair trial done and it just looks awful. It actually didn't look awful, but like she felt like this was not what she wanted and it was just awful, and like she was in tears and she was like, I don't want to look like this on my wedding. It's only like 2 more months to go and like I can't change everything right now. So what am I going to do? Like complete meltdown, right? So how do you prevent that from happening? Like,
well, first I think you have to understand where the bride is coming from. It's a lot of pressure to look great on your big day. And even if you are a laid-back person by nature, I mean, I think even just in your subconscious, you have this vision in your head, and if you're not communicating properly with your stylist and that vision isn't coming to life, then these situations can happen. That's why the style journey is so important, because you make sure that you don't miss a step. Like I said, 6 months. So if they see another picture that inspires them, like, it can change so quick, and you have to have those open lines of communication to make sure that these things don't happen, right? Just put yourself in their shoes, you know, if you can. That's, I think, the most important. And once you kind of put yourself there, I think it's a lot easier to understand and make sure those situations don't happen. And if they do, then it's a lot easier to resolve them and, you know, make sure the bride is smiling again, because it is an important day and it's a lot of pressure.
So does that mean if a bride says like, okay, like if a bride phones you up 1 week and says like, oh my God, Shalon, I saw like this amazing picture in this magazine and I love that hairdo. It's completely different from what we talked about before, but I love this. So you're flexible enough to like work with them, and then like, can they do like multiple trials, or how does this work?
Yes, they definitely can. All our stylists here are very experienced, so it doesn't stress us out. It's our job to make sure that the bride isn't stressed out. So yeah, absolutely. And if we need extensions or hair pieces to make that look, then we make sure that we communicate that with the bride, because one of the worst things you can do is promise something that you cannot deliver, right? So making sure that you're very open with everything, right? And so yeah, absolutely, if they change their mind last minute, if it's something that's totally workable with their hair, then absolutely not a problem. Yeah,
that's great. Actually, I like that. And I think the idea of like starting to think about your hairstyle and all of that like at least 6 months before has also the advantage that you're able to like grow into a style, you know, or like to say like, okay, I want to do something different, but in order to do that, we have to gradually work ourselves towards that particular hairdo, right?
Exactly. Like, for example, like a lot of the bohemian looks are very soft and ethereal, so you need certain type, like you need the layering in the hair, or if someone has dark hair, it'd be nice to put some highlights or just like a color gloss, so that when the light hits it, the style isn't lost, you know, and it enhances the look. And like I said, if you need to order extensions, that's something else to think about. And doing a treatment before the wedding. So if you're getting married in Mexico and there's going to be a lot of humidity, having an anti-humidity treatment so your hair doesn't grow while you're saying your vows. So there's lots to think about.
That's a good point. Destination weddings.
Yes.
So tell me a little bit about that. How does that work when people work with you? Like, how does the style journey work with destination weddings? Like, I mean, very few people are going to fly. I mean, too bad, but a lot of people.
I never
not a lot
say
of
no.
people. No, I can imagine. Like, but not a lot of people are going to fly you out to Mexico, right? So, but still, like a lot of brides, I can see like watching this and it's be like, yeah, you know what? Like I love this. I'm really interested in doing this. Like, so how does that work? What do you recommend?
So, like I have done a lot of destination weddings, which is always fantastic for me. But when the bride, it's just not in the budget to bring the stylist. It's very important. I'll still do a trial.
Wait, sorry. People actually brought you over to like the destination?
Yeah.
Oh, good for you.
Yeah. So
nice.
that's always fantastic.
What's the most exotic location you went to?
Oh, I guess it wasn't just Mexico. That's not super
That
good.
counts.
I'm hoping for
People
Paris.
hear that?
I'm hoping for Paris. Anyone get married in Paris? But no, like for example, I have a bride and she got married last week, I believe, and her sister was doing her hair. But like I said, I still did a trial with her. She has very fine hair and she didn't want to get all fly away and out of control, but she also wanted volume. So I made sure she had the right products and I went through how to use the products and everything so she could do this with her sister. Ideally, if it didn't work out for her sister to come in, but if she could have, that would have been fantastic because then I can do a style lesson. So then if it's one of the bridesmaids or their sister who's going to be doing their hair, then I can show them exactly how to go about it. And then the bride doesn't have to worry about it because they know they have the tools and the know-how. So we've empowered them to be able to make sure they have the best hair day on their special day.
And I guess that's good because then whoever they get down there, like I know like a lot of brides go with like whatever vendor the resort that they're getting like recommends, right? And sometimes you don't actually have a choice, you have to, and there's like all this politics involved in destination weddings. But like, so then at that point you can actually educate the bride and say, hey, make sure we're doing this and this and this. So that's actually good. That's I like that. That's a good idea. That's a good way to go about it.
That's a huge thing at Hype is education. Actually, throughout the industry, kind of known for education. Most people here in our salon are educators, and I find that very important because when you come to a salon and you get a great look, I mean, I've been there, I've gotten a fantastic haircut and I go home and I have no idea how to recreate it, right? And you want to be able to have that beautiful look every day. So I think it's very important as a stylist to make sure that you can educate your client and, like I said, empower them to be able to do it themselves. So they when they have this great trendy look, they can actually wear it every day. So that's very important for us.
So aside from starting early, like, is there like one tip, if there's like one tip you can give to a bride or a groom for that matter? I mean, we're talking a lot about the brides because but like a lot of grooms also are very like, I mean, they go to like a barber shop or like a dedicated sort of like stylist to also like look good. Like it's not unimportant for us, you know, like there are the grooms who get ready like half an hour before the wedding, but there's also others, you know.
Play a game of golf before they go down the aisle.
So but what kind of tips, like if there's like one tip you can give to a bride to prepare for her wedding, like, or to pick a stylist, if there's like one big tip you can give her, what would that be?
I say the most important tip that I would give to a bride is finding a stylist that she connects with. Someone that she knows has her best interest, and that there's those open lines of communication, you know what I mean? Like when you have a good friend that you feel like you can say anything to. I think that's very important.
So it's really like, so you're saying to basically focus on that connection, like the skill is important, but the connection is just as important, which is, that's interesting because we say that we say the same thing. Like when people ask us about like how do I pick a photographer or what's really, you know, it's like people always focus on the pictures or in your case the hairstyle, but like and oftentimes forget that in order to build that trust, everything that we just talked about, like to build that trust, so we can talk to people about, okay, like I'm afraid of this happening, you know, like you're basically opening up your fears, and people don't realize that, you know. And in order to have that connection, to build that trust, you need to have that connection. So wonderful. I agree with that. I'm glad you said that. So one of the things I always like to ask is there any vendor out there that you've worked with in the recent past that stood out to you and that would that you would say like goes above and beyond what's normally necessary, and that you could recommend?
That's a really great question, actually, and I do have a handful of fantastic people I love to work with, and I have the pleasure of working with often. The most important vendor that I could recommend would be a wedding planner. Wedding planners can be such an integral part of the whole journey as well, because again, they can refer you fantastic people. They can make sure that you have a group of people that have your best interests in mind. My favorite event planner is actually Laura Takasaki. She owns Imagine That Events, and every time I work with her, it's like a dream. I can just see in the bride, like there's no stress. She knows everything's taken care of. She can just focus on her day, you know, and I think that's so important.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
So, and we'll put her contacts in the show notes, of course.
Yeah.
And how can people find you?
You can find us online at hypehairstudio.com. It has all our contact information there. And we are located in Kitsilano at West 4th and Stevens.
And of course, we'll put a link to Hype like down below, so you can just click the link right there. And yeah, thank you so much for having us.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Of course, as always, don't forget to leave a comment and subscribe to our YouTube channel. And you can find Hype Hair Studio right down below. Thank you so much. Bye-bye. See you next time.
Thank you.